What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hit the Books, Season 2, Episode 34. I am your co-host, Tyler Huffnagel. I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, Ace and Mackie, this week. No Jesse on the pod this week, but I'll hand things off over to Mackie. How you been lately, buddy?
Been all right. Same old, same old. Getting ready to talk sports in the pod and just getting by.
Ace, how about you? What's going on up in the New England area?
Yeah, Huff. Getting a little bit warmer up here, so that's a good thing to see. Getting warm like my picks in the NHL. I think I was just looking at it, and I'm something like, let me see right here. Mackey's been keeping good track for us. 26, 12, and 3 in the NHL over the last 2 or 3 weeks, so fucking on fire. Need my Bruins to catch that fire. Grabbed a nice win in game one, tough one last night, so need them to bounce back, and yeah, I'm ready to talk another week of sports. Got some great playoff action all around the league, so ready to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ace,
that was a
NHL
tough
playoffs.
game
You've been
too. But yeah, I'll give you the credit where credit's due. You said 26 and 12.
yeah, you've been killing. I think you had like an 8-in-1 day in the middle of that at one point. So that
Yeah, I think it was
that
right before the playoffs.
skyrocketed you. But yeah, you've been killing it in the NHL.
Yeah,
Yeah, best bet in sports too is hockey. You can get the team -1. I know I get out here. Shout out the Rhode Island Sportsbook. Um, Huff might have been able to find it in Vegas. I'm not sure, but that's been covering me. Great odds on that too. Some alternate spread hits too. So those units are even higher than that total is. Love to see it. Got to keep it up though. It gets harder from here on out. So I'm gonna lock in even more.
yeah, and we've had some success in the NHL playoffs so far. I think we're 2-1. We had that game one Islanders Canes under 1.5 in the first period, and then we had Rangers money line game in game one, and then unfortunately Vegas to score first in game one against Winnipeg. That was a tough game for me. Me sitting in Vegas watching that one in the casino, and a lot riding on the line for me, and couldn't get it done. But with the score first, then the -1.5 I had off the card. That was just a tough beat. I've been thinking about that one for about 48 hours now. But you win some, you lose some. You got to move on to the next one. And tonight we got what are we going with tonight? Rangers and
I was just gonna say I'm about to tweet. What are we doing with Avs and Mets?
I love the rags on the or on the money line tonight at plus odds again against the
dude,
Devils.
this I was just so I was just saying to Mackie, like if the Rangers win this game in game two, Ace, do you think they sweep the series?
Mm, I think they should because they could go home. I think the Devils are the best matchup you can see in round one. Besides the Islanders, I think they're the weakest team in the playoffs actually. But yeah, I think the Devils so young. They have a lot of talent, so like they could mess around and win one at home, tie it up. It's a whole different narrative going back to New York. But if they can get to 2-0 tonight, they do have a good chance at it. But I think these feisty Devils, young team that can score, they'll grab one, maybe 4-1 series is what I see. But I think the Rangers are handling business tonight, and then they're gonna go home with that 2-0 lead, like you said, and they have a good chance of sweeping it. So we'll see. It all depends on tonight,
Yeah,
though.
if they go up 2-0, I don't see any chance where they. I mean, like I said, I think at least split in New York. I don't see any chance where they blow a 3-1 lead. I think they get the job done right back across the river in New Jersey in Game 5 at the latest.
Mackie, I told you all year long the Devils is who you want to see, and you got them. You like seeing them so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously after their game one, can't be more confident. That team played better than ever. But that was the one thing we knew this roster was built for a championship. They just had to play like it, and you're gonna play the playoffs, all the playoffs like that. We got a really good chance, and I really like our odds.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that they're at plus odds both games, even after blowing them out 5-1. We said it in our chat a few times. We thought Vegas had the wrong team favored here. I mean, the Rangers are a team that's built for a playoff run, right? They have the goaltending, they have the veteran experience, they have the youth and the depth, and they have a strong defensive core. So I don't understand how they're coming in at underdogs. I know it's on the
Yeah, but
road,
that's
but
the thing. It's not even really on the road. You have more Rangers fans at the Prudential Center than Devils fans. I mean, also you don't really have many Devils fans out there. But who really roots for the Devils, honestly? But yeah, I mean, they're all kind of home games. You hear Igor chants at the Rock the other night. That was crazy. I was like, there's more Rangers fans here than Devils fans. How are they going to get the support of the home ice advantage? I mean, especially a team with no experience coming in, you need your home fans, and you don't really get it here. So, um, Rangers have a big advantage here, and I really like our chances, especially after game one.
last point I want to bring up about this game before we jump to the next series in the NHL. I mean, going up 1-0, that's kind of your goal to steal one on the road as the dog, right? So you already did your job. But if you guys do end up losing tonight's game, how does that feel going into that? I know you're going back home, but still 1-1 tightens up the series a lot compared to 2-0.
Yeah, obviously being up 2-0 would be ideal and way different than 1-1 going back. Especially because the Devils, I think they were like 20, 26, 5-1 or something. That's not enough games actually, but they definitely had the best road record in the NHL this season. They had an incredible road record, so they know how to play on the road. They know how to play with adversity, but then again, the playoffs is a different animal. So it'll be cool. I think that we should definitely win one. I think that we will win both at home. Go back to the Rock, if they win tonight. Go back to the Rock for Game 5. See what happens there. But yeah, I think we're just gonna steal the ones in the Garden. It's gonna be really tough for that young team to deal with all that adversity.
Yeah, this will be fun to watch. That Devils team is going to be charged up. Felt bad for Sturkin getting hosed on a penalty shot late in the third, missing out on a playoff shutout.
Jack, he's
But
not missing
what are you
that
going to do?
either.
A
He's
win's
too good.
win's a
He's too
win.
good.
No,
Anybody else, he probably would have had
no,
it.
but that place will be rocking tonight, though. That'll be a good game to watch. I think the Rangers come out on top, but I expect a closer matchup.
Yeah, I'm right there. I think it's. I said to Mackie right before we got going. I think if they win this game tonight, it's a sweep. If they lose, I think they win 3 straight and end the series in 5. I don't see this Devils team in any spot for 6 games. Really, I don't. Unless get like you said, Game 5, they just either have like a crazy outburst of offense from their, like you said, young scoring team that can put the puck in the net. Somehow get a hell of a performance out of Vanacek, but I don't know. I think they'd need either a very low scoring game, but they're not that style team. They got to win. They got to score goals to win. And Mackie, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question for you two actually, just being bystanders in this series. If Devils win 5-1 tonight, what's your look going into Game 3?
Uh, Uber confidence. The only I think Game 3 is more of a lock than Game 4 in my opinion. Even if they go up 3-0, I think just a sense of pride and a lot of talent. I think the Devils get
No,
one
I'm
somehow.
saying
It
No,
should be
I'm saying if
tonight.
the Devils do win 5-1 tonight, blow up
Oh,
performance. Same thing the Rangers did last game. How are you looking at the rest of the series?
I'd say Game 3 is a must win almost for the Rangers if the Devils win tonight,
Yeah, absolutely.
or else it's
First one at home, you gotta grab that one. Yeah, I agree.
You
yeah.
can't. Yeah,
But
you can't start this series out
But
1-0 in on the road. Let them even it up and then come back to New York, and now you're going into Game 4
playing from
down
behind.
2-1 in the series. Yeah, you can't let that happen. That's a must
Yeah,
win
I
in
mean,
Game 3, definitely.
I mean, it is a 7 game series. I don't want to jump the gun on any of this. Obviously, my confidence is through the roof, but I don't want to, say the series is over because it could definitely turn. Um,
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. I mean, Ace, I
and
don't want to
it's
turn things
it's
over to you, but your Game 1 kind of went. The Bruins had their way in Game 1, and Game 2 kind of went the complete opposite way with Florida. What was it, 6-2 final, 6-3 final?
6-3 final and probably the Bruins' worst game of the season. Game 1 was a tight matchup, and if you looked at it statistically without watching the game, you'd think the Bruins got outplayed. But Game 1, the Bruins took it to them all night long, and Alex Lyon, terrible goaltender in my opinion, but playing great hockey, kept them in it. But the Bruins had a lot of 2-on-1s, high pressure chances going their way. Had a lot more looks and posts all over at Game 1. Come back Game 2, and the Panthers are all over it. They're a good hockey team. We knew that going in. I said that coming in. Who do you not want to see the Panthers? I still think we take them, but you knew it was going to be a series when we saw these two teams as the matchup. 1-8, who cares? It's the NHL. It's not the NBA. It's not going to be a 4-0 sweep. It's going to be a series between these teams. Too much talent. And you know who's all over the ice? Matthew Tkachuk. He's the face of that team, 100-point scorer, making me hate him day by day, but he's doing exactly what he does, and he's the reason that that team's where they are. Not to shed the light away from Alex Lyon though. I thought going in we were going to put up a plethora of goals. 3 is still a good amount. You don't see six. It was only 4 on all marked 2 empty nets, but you don't see that many going against the Bruins. But it was self-inflicted wounds that we can clean up our act, and I think we're fine. Still outchanced them last night, but the turnovers really just beat us.
yeah, like I said going into this series, this is definitely not the matchup you guys wanted to see with all the playoffs, with all the wild card teams that were in contention. Um, but yeah, you guys stole one. I mean, not I wouldn't say you stole one, but Omar did stand on his head Game 1. You guys won that one at home, like you guys should have. But yeah, that last game, I wouldn't even say you guys got outplayed because you really didn't. It's just the bounces that don't go your way. Just one of those things. But yeah, this team just has not seen a lot of adversity this year, so it's going to be nice to see how they overcome this home loss and see how they go to Florida now and deal with this adversity. Obviously, they have the veteran experience and they've all been there before, but this year's a little different, so it'll be nice to see. I think you guys, I wouldn't be worried. Obviously, best team in the league, best team we've ever seen, but yeah, definitely something to look.
Obviously, missing Bergeron, the key point here, something that we have to bring up as well. Missing 2 games, thought to be an illness, but really an injury that he incurred in his game 82 of the season. You would think, why would he even play that? But in potentially his last season, that was his last career game in his hometown. So how does Jim Montgomery sit him that night? That's a tough call. Definitely, it was up to Bergeron. He wanted to go. So hopefully he can be back for game 3. In my opinion, they're probably resting him to get to a game 3, but obviously the only person who knows what's going on is Montgomery and Bergeron. So no update on that yet, but hopefully he's in the lineup tomorrow night. But like you said, the bounces were the reason of that game. It was a 2-2 game. We made it 1-1, then we made it 2-2. About to make it 3-3 on a power play late in the third. McAvoy hits one off the bar and out of the rink. So that bounce would have changed the complexity of the whole game, but ended up going on to lose it. So, I mean, I like our team. A lot of chances, a lot of scoring everywhere, and Omar can play a lot better than that. And we have the depth everywhere, even if we wanted to make some roster moves going into the next game. You get Matt Grzelcyk, second in the NHL in plus minus, hasn't even touched the ice in the playoffs yet. So he might get a look next game. A lot of things. Bad game, but that's why it's a series. Like Charlie McAvoy said, all you got to do is win 4 before you lose 4. So that's all we're here to do this in the series.
Yeah, and I think you guys will go down to Florida and take care of business in game 3, and then it's kind of anyone's business in games 4. Do they want to, does Florida come out and play like they did in game 2 and defend their home ice somehow? But I mean, I think you guys will have your way in game 3. Like you said, Alex Line, I think he's playing great hockey, but I don't think he's the guy that's going to steal a series against the best regular season team of all time and top, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call this, all these accolades of Bruins have gotten, I don't see Alex Line being the goalie that knocks them out of the playoffs. I like the Bruins come out of this series in 5 or 6 games at max. I think this series I think this series goes a lot like the Rangers and Devils series. I just think Florida won their game in game 2. I mean, the Devils could win their game in game 2 tonight, like we said, but I think Florida won their game. Obviously, in Boston, it was a bit of a surprise. Everyone had the Bruins go up 2-0 in that series, and then maybe think Florida was going to steal game 3 or 4. But I don't know. I think both of these series, maybe 5 games, that's all we're going to see.
Yeah, and obviously we just see Bergeron come back, like I said before, but an X factor to add to that lineup. Already a great matchup without him, but you add that to your lineup. You add one of the future Hall of Famer to your lineup. It can't hurt. So far in the series, though, Bertuzzi and Marchand have been the best players on the ice on our team. Meanwhile, Kachuk, like I said, all over on their team. And then Paul Maurice on their bench. Got to give a shout out to him. He's actually coaching well. I know he has a negative career playoff record, but over almost 100 games in the playoffs as a head coach. And you saw his adjustments for game 2, and they worked out well, activating that defense, stretching the zone, and getting some odd man rushes with those talented forwards. But really, if you watch the game in depth, those defensemen are getting shots from the point as often as they can, and that's the best way to beat a good goaltender. Vezina favorite, odds-on favorite. So you get pucks to the net with traffic, bury some rebounds, get some screens. That's how you beat good goalies. So I still expect a good series to come throughout. The Boston Bruins, throughout my life, love to go Game 7. Even the year they won the Cup in 2011, they lost the first 2 at home and then 1 in 7. They won 3 Game 7, so 3 or 4 in that run. So they don't like making it easy, but that's what playoff hockey is.
Was that the year you guys came back against the Leafs and won in overtime? Bergeron scored in overtime in Toronto.
Yeah. Game 7 when we were down 3 goals. Yeah, that's probably my favorite Bruins highlight.
I was gonna say that goal just like sticks in my head. I don't know why, but I knew exactly what you were talking
about. Bergeron. Yeah, him, Marchand, and Sagan. Yeah. Meanwhile, 10 years later, here doing the same thing with Marshy on the short he sniped the other day. So they're still right there. A lot of hockey to be played. We'll see, but I think that other Eastern series is probably sitting at 2-0. Only one at 2-0 so far, right?
Kane Dials, yeah.
So I was just gonna say we'll bounce over to another Eastern series. You said Canes and Canes have defended their home ice, are up 2-0 in the series, winning in overtime last night. Looked like the Islanders were maybe gonna steal one, but they just weren't playing that way. Mackie, you were saying Sorokin didn't have his best game. I'm very interested to hear what you guys think if they can go back to New York and put up a fight. I think the Islanders maybe get 1 or 2. I think there's a chance they win both games in New York if they can play better, but if they don't win both, I don't like their chances to win this series at all.
Yeah, and this is the Carolina Hurricanes. Sorry, I just got a little mixed up there. This is the Carolina Hurricanes. They win their home.
Cam Newton.
They win their home games in the playoffs. They lose their away games. So I think it would not surprise me at all if the Islanders went back and won both on the island, and we're going to see a game 5 tied 2-2. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the series is anywhere near over. I think the Islanders need to find a little more offense. Last night they had it in the bag. Sorokin, in my opinion, didn't have his best game. Definitely could have won that one, but you throw one away on the road, it's gonna be tough to come back. But definitely wouldn't be surprised if I see the Isles go home and win too.
I honestly,
It's crazy to me that you guys are saying that. You both said that you think the Isles could grab 1, if not 2 games
Hurricanes-
at home. I think the Islanders are the worst team. They're the worst team in the NHL playoffs this year in both
Hurricanes
conferences.
played in 2 full 7-game series last year and didn't win one away game.
I truly,
No, I understand what you're looking at, but I just think they outmatch this Islanders team so much. This Islanders team is worse than Islanders teams in years past. They don't stick to their game. They don't bully anybody. They're too small. The depth that the Carolina Panthers have added in their winning ways, Brendan Moore is a great coach, and those young guys are getting older. I know
Carolina
they're
who?
not at their full capacity. The Carolina Panthers.
Did I do that to you? Did I
We
do
gotta call him
to
that
you?
the whole time. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's not good. We gotta Jesse edit that out. No, but whoever it is, Carolina at home, they're great. I know, and you're thinking, oh, like these playoff metrics, leaving their home stadium, bunch of jerks.
You love saying that.
Storm surge, whatever it is. Yeah, I do. I think it's a good line. I still think they sweep though. This Isles team lacks any scoring threats. They don't have the intensity like they used to, in my opinion. They kind of figured out. They've been doing the same. They're one trick pony, in my opinion. And I think I said this to you guys the other day. People love Sorokin. He's a regular season goaltender. That's why I don't get why they hang him next to Shesterkin and Ottinger. I know that Ottinger's not playing his best hockey yet, but these guys are much better than Sorokin. He's a regular season hero. I said it the other day. Varlamov is the one that has the playoff success for the New York Islanders. He did it in past years. So I wonder if they turn the page to him at all. Do you think so?
Absolutely not. But Varlamov was the one on that Eastern Conference Finals run like 3 years ago. But you might be right about Sorokin. There's just not enough sample to tell. I mean, he played 2 games. One of them wasn't terrible. Last one he definitely gave away. But it's gonna be interesting. There's no way that you could play Varlamov. Sorokin, any other year he's winning the Vezina. Obviously, what Omar did, you can't.
But how short of a leash does he have in this game if he gives up 2 quick ones or a softie?
Yeah. Well, any goalie in this situation, you got to have a short leash, especially with the experience you have on the bench.
Especially down 2-0.
And with the experience you have on the bench.
Do you think it's in his head at all with that bounce that went in, that funky goal? That kind of.
Yeah, but he gets to go home now. This is what Igor dealt with last year with the Penguins,
But the Carolina Hurricanes were acting like they're
Exactly.
slouches
That's
on
what I was
them.
gonna
I know
say.
that they're not as good. They had the second most points in the NHL this year, didn't they?
No, yeah, I think they did. Yeah, because Devils were third. Yeah.
I know that they're shorthanded, missing some guys due to injury, but I still like them. I there's no one on that team that scares me. In adding guys like Brent Burns to a playoff run. One thing that we should note that's pretty crazy. We're talking about it. They went and got Frederick Anderson 2 years ago. He was hurt last year in the playoffs, and this year he's sitting on the bench watching Antti Ranta take over, and he's playing well. I mean, he's another guy that performs well in the playoffs, career veteran backup, but solid goaltending nonetheless. And
He
it's pretty
plays
crazy
really
to
well
see
in the
him.
playoffs. It's kind of cool, but yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're rolling with Ronta. Obviously, it's working. They're up 2-0, but again, they are playing the Isles, so it'll be interesting to see what they do next series if they get there.
Predictions for this series for you guys?
Canes Isles.
Canes in 5.
I'm saying Canes at 4.
I think they'll just
I'll
win
say
one on the
6.
road.
I truly think the Islanders win the next 2, and then the Canes win 2 to close it out.
You think it goes 7?
No, I don't think it goes 7. I think Carolina will win in Game 6.
I think if the Isles win both of these games, it goes 7. But I think they'll probably drop one just because basically everything you just said, how weak they are, what this team.
I I think last night was their chance to get into
eh,
the series, and they blew it by going to overtime. I think they're going to get blown out the next
Yeah,
game. Game three is going to be a. I'm taking the Hurricanes. I've taken them -1 every game. Love that bet in the playoffs, and it pushed last night because of it. But I'd consider taking them on the puck line tomorrow night.
on the road, huh?
Yeah, probably good odds
Definitely.
too.
Yeah, they're still gonna be favorites.
But
It's
they'll
probably gonna be like -130.
maybe -200 favorites.
No way. They're like -200 at home. The odds are definitely already out. I'm gonna say 120, 125.
Wow, I love that. If we can get it, lock that in for me right now.
115. Isles are
But yeah.
favored.
Oh my god, I love it. Let's lock it in right now. You know that's gonna go the other way
It
a little bit by the
Canes
time
will
puck
close
drops.
probably at like -110.
On
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Bruins
on
minus
DraftKings, I
152
see minus
tomorrow.
110 both ways.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Those are I'm playing both of those on the money line tomorrow
Stars.
night. Then those will
Stars too. Well, that's an even line. It's -110, -110. But on the road, that's crazy.
and I think we have one more series to talk about here in the East, right, Huff?
Yeah,
You were on the wrong side of it to start.
yeah, it's about to get rolling here. Toronto and Tampa Bay. Obviously, we know what happened in Game 1. Tampa Bay had their way with them. I think it was what? What was the final score? 7-3?
7-3.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Toronto just didn't play their best. I mean, Tampa came out fast, and anytime they get a lead with Vasilevsky in net, they're not going to blow a 2, 3, 4 goal lead in the playoffs. Just no shot. And Tampa Bay takes this series lead 1-0. They're about to get underway right now in Game 2. I don't know which way you guys are leaning on this one. I don't think any of us sent plays on this one, but I like the Leafs to even things up tonight, but that's just me. I'm still going with my Leafs pick in 7, but they're going to need some to split down in Tampa Bay and then just everyone win their home games the rest of the way. But Ace, how you feeling about this series? Who you got?
Yeah, like you said, nobody sent in a play for this today, and I kind of think it's all for the same reason. Personally, I think I'm going to be kicking myself in 2 hours for not taking the Lightning on the money line at +135. But with so many uncertainties with the injuries coming out of that first game, kind of scared me a little bit. But then you got to think about they still have Vasilevsky, and I know the Leafs are at home and essentially a must-win here. But without Hedman and Chernak, that's kind of scary. But think about the offense that the Lightning has, like Braden Point. I think he had like 4 points in game 1. You have Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos. They're out there, and we said this last week. These guys are on the ice a lot more in the playoffs than they are in a regular season
Kucherov.
game. And when you have this,
Kucherov is
what are you
also
saying?
different in the playoffs. He's a top 3 player in the league in the playoffs, I think.
He's one of those guys that turns it up in the playoffs. He looks like he's
He
coasting during the
plays for
regular
the playoffs.
season.
That's the only reason. He doesn't care about the regular season. And he still put up a calm 100.
I'm surprised we haven't talked about this yet with all the series we've been through. Physicality being a part of the game. Guys like Nikita Kucherov are built for the playoffs just by sheer size alone. You can't be that little guy that's going to do nothing. I know Braden Point does it and Brad Marchand does it, but like they have a little bit of nasty in their game. But you can't be the soft team, and that's another thing that the Tampa Bay Lightning own in this series and have owned for the past few seasons.
So who do you what's the series? How many games?
6.
Tampa in 6.
I'd like the Lightning. Yeah.
I'm gonna go full retard and just say Leafs in 6.
And 6. Wow.
Sorry,
Mackie, you're a goalie too.
dude. Okay, so hear me out. Last game, Lightning won 7-3. You said that once you get a 3-4 goal lead with Vasilevsky, you're not gonna blow it. I promise you, when it went 3-2, if the Leafs didn't get 3 straight penalties in a 5-minute major, they were gonna win that game. They shot themselves in the foot. They did it to themselves consistently. They killed off 2 penalties. It was still 3-2. They or no, maybe one of them went in, so it was 4-2, and then they get a 5-minute major. They scored 2 penalties before the period even ended 6-2. Obviously, the game's over at that point. You're sitting there 3-2. You have all the momentum in the world, and then you get 3 penalties. You have 9 minutes of penalties in the next 15 minutes. How are you going to win a game like that? I think this team is so much more skilled than the Lightning. They came out soft last game. It's the Leafs. We were expecting it. They all have the nerves. Everybody knows about the curse. You get the nerves out. You start playing hockey, and they're the way better team in this series. I know how Vasilevsky is. I know he can steal games left and right, but Obviously, the star power is there for the Lightning, but like you said, Hedman out. Who else would you say was out?
Chernak.
Chernak,
Yeah, some big
yeah.
names out. I don't know. This team's got to deal with a lot of adversity. I think we see Samson now play some good hockey, like we've seen in the regular season. I think they have a chance to definitely own these next 6 games, that potential six
Did
games.
Bunting get fined or suspended?
3 games. He
Both, I
got
thought.
3 games, but I think
Dang.
that's very overcomable for the Toronto. I don't think he's a good asset. He's a good piece, but I think they can work right around that.
So he could
Mac,
potentially, he's not back till game 5.
Yeah, he can
If
potentially, if they
if
get
there
swept, he
is a
misses
game
the
5.
series. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mackie, I have two rebuttals to some topics you just brought up. First off, with the Ilya Samsonov, I know some of his regular season numbers were really good, but I think with him and Vitek Vanacek, that's why the Washington Capitals let them go. They're not that good, and with the defensive core in front of them, that's nothing that's too great. They have guys like Jake McCabe who they brought in. Let's go like this real quick. So you were saying that the Maple Leafs are the better team. They might be deeper on offense, but we'll give them the grade. We'll go with the Leafs on offense, which is crazy because of the top end talent on
crazy.
Toronto.
The Lightning have zero depth now. That team is nowhere what it used.
No, I agree. But what about on defense and goaltending? I think that goes to Tampa Bay in both assets of the game, and that's how you win playoff
You're
hockey, in my
taking
opinion.
top 3 defensemen out of that lineup tonight, and I don't know how long he's going to be out for the rest of the series, but that's huge. It's also huge.
Is Hedman out though? He was questionable.
I don't think he's
That's
playing.
important.
So I know obviously Chernak's out, but I did see Hedman was questionable. I
Chernak's
didn't
out.
see if he's in a lineup or not, but they didn't show him skating around in warmups. So I'm thinking he's not playing tonight.
Yeah, they're both out tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, I
stick,
But
think
still, I think
you
he'll be
can make
back.
good
I'm
points
sticking
for
with
either
Leafs in
team.
7.
Obviously, you can't be wrong saying the Lightning, and honestly, the stats points say that you can't be wrong saying the Leafs either. So, but we've seen how the Leafs have performed in the playoffs, haven't won a series and so forth. So, that's just I'm being dumb. I know I am because I know they're going to end up getting beaten 6. But this team just I don't know. They have so much potential. I think that they're drawing the right cards this year. If they play to their potential, that they should win the series.
To quote Huff from earlier in the season, I think this is the series that sends Austin Matthews to Arizona. But like I've said before, last point on the Eastern Conference playoffs for me, another must-win here tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs this time. Must-win game at home.
Yeah, I agree. I'll stick. Like I said, you got the Aces going Bolts in 6, Mackey Leafs in 6, and I'm sticking with Leafs in 7. I think it's gonna be a 7-game series, but Mackey, what you said earlier before the series started, if it goes 7, that you think Tampa Bay wins it, I definitely could see that happen. So I just think this series goes 7. But let's head out west. Last night we had Dallas dominate Minnesota 7-3, even up their series. Really, I mean, at no point was that game in question. I know Minnesota kind of scratched back a little bit, but Dallas looked so dominant through parts of that game. At no point did I think they were going to lose that game, and I was biting my or hit myself in the foot that I did not take the -1.5 in that game because I really liked it, and I just didn't take it because I was flying home and just kind of like got all my plays in last second. I did take them to score first, which hit, but the -1.5, I really liked that, and I ended up not taking it, but I think this series, I liked Minnesota to put up a fight. I think they'll go back to Minnesota. Minnesota could get 1. I'm still going with Stars in 6 here. I think I originally said Stars in 5 or maybe 6. I'm sticking with Dallas in 6 here.
Yeah, that's like you said last night. That Dallas team jumped out hot. I think they went up 2-0 in the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Sagan had a hell of a game.
They have a lot of They have a lot of firepower on that team. Guys like Sagan playing in secondary, tertiary roles. Obviously stepping up a bit more with Joe Pavelski out after a little cheap hit, in my opinion. But it's a better series than I thought. I still like Dallas in 6, like you said. I originally thought 5, and it still could be 5. Maybe the Wild just kind of stunned them game 1. But they go back to Minnesota now, so it's a pretty tight series. Kaprasov and Boldy, Hartman, they have guys on that side that can score, but again, I'm gonna lean on the good goaltending with Jake Ottinger here. I think he figures it out and delivers a 1 or a 0 a couple times in the series.
I think it's absolutely crazy that that Fleury played last night. You have Gustafsson absolutely robbed game 1 for you. It played absolutely out of his mind in overtime. You win game 1 on the road, and then you go to your old goalie that the team isn't as confident playing in front of. It's just not a good move, not a good coaching move in my opinion. I think that can be the story of the series at the end of the day. You just gave Dallas all their momentum back that they needed. You're going back into Minnesota, and what are you going to do? Throw Gustafsson back in the net? Well, now you're messing everything up. It's just not a good coaching decision. I think Dallas has the momentum that they need. And they can win this in 5, I think.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Mackie. There's so much talent. Dallas is one of the favorites coming out of the West. Jason Robertson, Rupe Hintz, Tyler Sagan, Jamie Benn, Joe Pavelski, Miro Heiskanen. The list goes on and on. This Dallas team is built, battle tested over the past few years. Kind of got bounced out in some tough game 7s over the years. I think double overtime last year or a year ago.
I was going to say, I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, but I know it was at game 7 in overtime.
Yeah, double overtime. So they've been here before. They know what playoff hockey's like. This Wild team's still pretty young, but the Wild have the firepower to keep up. If you can put that, if they can keep drawing power plays and whatnot, stay on that odd man, they can put pucks in the back of the net. I know Otter's one of the best goalies in the league, but Kaprizov being back and healthy, that's massive. And a lot of guys like we've touched on all year for that team. An exciting series nonetheless.
Yeah, I do, Mackie. I see your point. I didn't really pick up on the fact that last night they did start Fleury, and the fact that you have to go back to Gustafsson here, right, in game 3.
Yeah, but everything's thrown off now. I mean, the mojo's gone. And the announcers were even saying it, and the Minnesota announcers were saying it in game 1. They're like, this team's more confident with Gustafsson in the net. Fleury's just way too flary, throwing himself around. Gustafsson's clean,
And they've
just,
played
like,
so
in
with
his
better
net.
with Gustafsson and net. With the last 2 weeks of the season leading up to the playoffs to get them in there, he was the reason they got in there, and I was riding them the past couple of weeks of the season for the playoffs, and it was all with him in net.
Yeah, I just think
I didn't realize he got the start last night. When I took that Dallas to score first, I actually didn't know that he was playing, and I turned the game on. I saw the gold pads. I'm like, he's fucking playing?
Yeah, I didn't know either until I saw the highlights because I didn't even watch the game. I was at that baseball game, but
Oh,
that was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It's crazy to me. Terrible decision in my opinion, and I think that they just blew their series away. I think if Gustafsson plays that game, and even if you lose it in overtime, you lose 3-2 in a close game, it's a way different scenario than putting up 7 goals.
All right, and then we had the Edmonton Oilers even up their series against the LA Kings after the Kings took game 1 in overtime. I think most of us, the consensus play here was the Oilers in around 5 or 6 games. I don't think anyone went as far as 7 with the Oilers, but I like them to get the job done. It's going to be tough to win 2 in LA because LA is a pesky young team. Kind of we keep talking about these teams that are able to defend their home ice in the playoffs is so different, but I think the Oilers are going to hit their stride here, and I think they handle the series in 5 or 6 games. What has been such a surprise to me is the fact that McDavid hasn't scored yet. I know he has a assist or 2, but we're still waiting on to see his first
1
goal.
point in 2 games.
Yeah, so
What's crazy to me is the narrative coming out of game 1 when the Oilers lost versus how everybody's feeling now that it's 1-1. It was like the world was over after they lost game 1 to the Kings in overtime on a fluky 15-second bounce. And I was one of the whistleblowers who said Connor McFraud, I forget what I said. But he didn't show up, and he didn't show up again, -2.
He is playing well, dude. Like the first game, he was incredibly impactful. He had two straight drawn penalties, made it a 5-on-3. He obviously scored 2 goals on that. Made the game 2-0. He didn't get any points on it though. So, he's still doing his thing. He's not putting the points that he's used to. When was the last time he put up 1 point in 2 games? I think probably the 3rd game of the season.
Yeah, it's Connor McRegular season.
Come on. That's incredible.
Nah, I'm really wearing a Connor McDavid t-shirt under this right now, actually, too, which is the good part. I think he bounces back. He has to. He's too good of a hockey player not to. But this Kings team, battle-proven once again. Who are they led by? Drew Doughty. How many Stanley Cups does he have? 2. You know what he tells that team? They've won as an 8 seed. I don't give a fuck who we're playing. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, 100 points by Nugent Hopkins on the power play. It's the playoffs. We got to play physical. Like we were talking about Kucherov being a big body and stepping into that playoff hockey well. McDavid and these Oilers, on the other hand, are the Leafs of the West. They're pretty soft, no goaltending, weak defense, a lot of hype and expectations and pressure on them. I still think they get the job done in 6, like Huff said, but it's no easy task going against a team that's very hungry like the Kings.
Yeah, and anybody that West is not very powerful over there. I think anybody can come out of that Western Conference, and I wouldn't really necessarily be shocked. I'm not expecting like the Jets or or even Seattle to come out of it, but I definitely wouldn't be shocked. So it's just something else to think about in these Western Conference series. You definitely see the Kings come out of there with a veteran experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be fun as it shifts back to LA. I got Oilers in 6, and I got McDavid to pick up a few goals and assists, and he's going to take over one game for a 4-point explosion. So that's coming soon.
1-0 Leafs.
Who was it?
Marner on a power play.
They're gonna fucking roll
Oh,
this
he's a
game.
dog.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is gonna be ugly.
Without Hedman,
45
he's
seconds
best
into the game,
defenseman.
they were on a
They
power play and
also
they scored.
they also like have to win this game. You lose this game, and the series over.
It's like the Oilers story last night. These two series are so similar.
I think it's more like the Stars. I think it's gonna be more like the score.
Let's get into these last two Western Conference series. Next, we had the Winnipeg Jets go up 1-0 on the Vegas Golden Knights. Was obviously in Vegas watching this one. That was a tough one for me. And the worst part is I know that they're going to fucking murder them tonight, and the -1.5 is going to hit. I'm going to have to watch it and just let it slide on by because I'm probably not going to take it because if they kill me on back-to-back, I probably could never bet on that team ever again. But I think they handle business tonight against Winnipeg. I'm still going with the Knights in 6 games. I think they handle business. I think they're the better team. Hellebuck stood on his head last game, had a great game, and Vegas didn't play their best game. But like you said, a lot of pressure on another team, and not necessarily cup pressure, but just a tough matchup in the first round. You're one of the better teams in the West, and you draw the Winnipeg Jets in the first round with an elite goaltender in net that is able to steal a series. I mean, it's tough. I think Vegas gets this job done in 6. I think they win the night. I think they obliterate them just to stab me in the back. But I like Vegas in 6.
I think this is going 7. And you want to know what's crazy? All year, we kept getting burnt in what we say afterwards. I'm not betting against Connor Hellebuck. And you know what's tough? They stole one on the road. Now that it's a must-win for the Vegas Golden Knights. We've been saying that a lot tonight, but it is. And then imagine they're down 2-0 going to Winnipeg. One of the toughest playoff atmospheres to play in. They do that whiteout. With Connor Hellebuck at home, I'd be nervous. Connor Hellebuck's one of the best goalies in the NHL. Now he's proving it on the biggest stage. So, I don't know. I'm not touching that game. I like them. I like the Knights at home tonight. I do think they get the job done, but I'm not. I'm throwing. I already did throw
a serious prediction.
7. It's going 7 in my opinion.
Vegas isn't losing at home in Game 7.
I like the Knights. I like the Vegas at home. That's the thing. And I think that this Jets team kind of falters off a bit. But this is the best Jets team of years past. Top defenseman, top goal scoring. And when they bring that line together with Connor and Scheifele, they can put pucks in the net. And not really sure what's going on with the goaltending choices for Vegas. It was Brissot, Game 1.
They don't even know.
I wouldn't have gone with him in Game 1, so I'm eager to see who they roll out tonight. I saw it earlier, but I can't remember which one it was. Probably look that up when it gives your take. But yeah, I like them to cover. I like the Vegas Golden Knights to tie up the series tonight. -1 because it could go to overtime. But yeah, it's going to be a 7-game series, so they'll even it up tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, see, I don't really like Vegas anymore.
I was gonna say, Mackey's getting ready to say Winnipeg in 6. I can tell.
Dude, you hit the fucking nail on the head. I swear to God, that's all I'm thinking about is Winnipeg in 6. Simply because not even that Winnipeg impressed me last game. Obviously, Hellebuck's impressive every single time, but Vegas looked like dead. They looked like they were skating in mud. They didn't even look like they wanted to be out there. It was incredible. You have that Vegas fan base. You have one of the rowdiest fan bases in the NHL. And you come out and play like that and put up that type of effort against a team that you should probably be slaughtering. Winnipeg snuck in by the skin of their teeth, and now they're playing like they're the better team. So I think it's crazy what's going to happen, and I think it's going to decide the entire series. But even if Vegas wins tonight, they have to steal one on the road, and it's going to be, like Ace said, it's going to be really tough to go play in Winnipeg and steal one from Hellebuck. So I really think Winnipeg's going to take this one in 6. The only thing that would change my mind is if Vegas figured it out tonight. Maybe blew them out or something. But I think that even if they win a 3-2, 4-2 hockey game, it's not looking good. I think they need to get their momentum back and just get things going again. That was a terrible hockey game for them. And with what you had on that game, you were probably more frustrated than ever. I don't know how you can ever root for this team ever
I
again.
couldn't even
You
like
should have a
when
dartboard
it got to
you
two
should have,
nothing. I had no hope. I had like negative hope.
they didn't look like they wanted to play hockey at all. I don't think that they looked good at all. The team had 109 points this season, I think. That was a
I
terrible
thought that
performance.
I thought they were gonna win fucking 5-1. I'm like I thought it was gonna be two
You
nothing end of
expect
the
it. You
first.
expected it. You expected it because that would have
Yeah,
made sense. Vegas is supposed to come out and do that in game one. That's just terrible performance. I don't have a lot of faith in that team.
yeah. I believe me. You don't have to tell me twice about them anymore. But last series in the West, Colorado. Game 2 tonight. I know we like Colorado tonight to even things up after Seattle stole game 1. I think the Avs win this game or win this series in 5. I think game 1 was a fluke. I thought it was going to be a sweep to begin with. They let Seattle get their first playoff win in their first playoff game. I think it's over for this young team. I was on them all the regular season. I thought they were a very good team. I think they're still a year, 2 away. I'll take the Avs to finish this thing in 5 games. I think this series is over.
You know what's crazy to me is you guys said that you thought that the New York Islanders could steal games at home and even up a series or go 7 with the Carolina Hurricanes. Meanwhile, the Seattle Kraken are the exact same style of hockey team out west, and they just won game 1 against one of the defending champions at home. They're a better version of the New York Islanders. They play that trap style hockey. They have a solid goaltender, not a better goaltender, better defenseman, better skill up front of guys who can put the puck in the net. They have depth, and they have young legs, too. I do think the Avalanche probably even cover the puck line tonight at home. I think they could smoke them. But I think this is a series that could go 7 games, and I like the Avalanche to get it done with the home ice advantage. But the Kraken are going to give them a scare. I think they could even go up 2-1 in the series, or worst case, tie it 2-2 at home. But the way that they play, that they're playing good hockey. It's if you've watched all year, they limit your chances. If they can get a lead, then it's really tough to come back against them. They smother you. But if the Avalanche can score the first goal, then they can run away with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of somewhere in between with you two. I like the Seattle team. I wouldn't say they're definitely better than the Islanders. I don't know if they're the same exact team as them, but they just have a little more star power, I think, and their players are just showing up. Um, I don't think it was necessarily a fluke yesterday. I was very surprised, or 2 days ago, I might have been. I was very surprised seeing Seattle win a game on the road, but I think it's going to be interesting going into Seattle, seeing how that atmosphere is for their first playoff appearance. It could be pretty electric. It could be a hard place to play. Avalanche didn't look their best, obviously. Grubauer or not Grubauer, Gorgiev giving up a few weak ones, I think. But even the goal scoring is not even really there like, that much. So they definitely got to pick it up. I think the series can definitely go south for them, but I don't expect it to. I think the Avalanche take care of business, win in 6. Um, win tonight, might drop another one in Seattle, but I don't see them this series going 7 games. I think they got it in 6.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for the NHL series. I think we all made some pretty valid picks. Most of us on the same side of some of those series. A couple that we're on opposite sides on, but obviously you guys have your 2 teams still in the race. I'm just kind of watching from the sidelines, trying to make some money on the picks. But yeah, as the NHL first round continues, we'll definitely get into that next week as some of these series could be wrapping up here within the next couple of days, like we said. Another form of playoffs that have been going on. We've had the NBA playoffs. We're rolling. Eastern Conference. We've had the Celtics start out 2-0. Nuggets in the West out 2-0. A couple of these other series are all even, but Ace, we'll start with your Boston Celtics handling business up in TD Garden, up 2-0 in the series. I think this is a sweep, has a sweep written all over it. I think you're probably going the same way, if not 5 games, but I want to know how you're feeling about your Boston Celtics in this series.
Like you said, remember we were talking about this last week and we were talking about series prices, and we said, ooh, let's look at teams. And I said, I like the Sixers and the Celtics to either sweep or win 4-1. Those are looking really good right now. The Celtics got a very easy matchup with the Atlanta Hawks. They were already kicking Trae Young out the door before the series started, so no chemistry, no motivation in my opinion. And now you're playing against the best team in the East. A lot of star power all around. Derek White playing a true role, making a big three of sorts, really popping off and holding his own. I know his hairline's crazy, but his play isn't. He's been helping carry the boys, and you still have Tatum with him. You have Jaylen Brown, Rob Williams when he's healthy, one of the best centers in the league, and he can shut down and hang with the best of them. And then you have the depth everywhere. You have Marcus Smart, you have Malcolm Brogdon. So the Celtics, easy matchup for them. I think they cruise. It's not like the NHL where someone can steal the series. I don't even think the Hawks have the pride or dignity to win one here. Not even too much to say on the series. I think I'm just ready for round 2.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if we see the Hawks pull out a win in this series. They just look deflated. Obviously, the Celtics are the way better team. We know what it is in this series. But yeah, I got Celtics in 4. Nothing really else to it.
I touched on that Sixers series a bit too. I think they're going to handle business. Like we said, the Nets really being carried by the Kyrie and KD coattails, and then eking their way into the playoffs. They'll handle business there. But the series that's really interesting to me is that Knicks and Cavs series. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to that. I hit on that money line for the Knicks in Game 1, but sitting at 1-1 in the East there.
See, the thing with that series is I like the Cavs, and now that they split in or 1-1 in Cleveland, I kind of have a different take on this series. I'm starting more now to jump on the Knicks in 6 to finish things up at home in Game 6. Because of the way they came out in Game 1, I was really impressed. I think the public was all over Cleveland in that first game, which may or may not have had something to do with the outcome. But Cleveland, they handled business in Game 2. They look good, so both teams kind of had their game. It's going to be very interesting to see how Cleveland rolls into Madison Square Garden. Definitely one of the toughest places to play in the NBA, and now in the playoffs. This Knicks team, we know how their fan base is in MSG, so going to be a tough place for Cleveland to go in there and win games. I think the Knicks could potentially win both at home and take a 3-1 series lead. Like I said, I'll take the Knicks in 6 here.
Yeah, that's crazy that you say that because I think this has 7 written all over it. 2 inexperienced teams, both with talent in different areas. You know what I'm going to keep doing the rest of the series is throwing lightly on the underdog every night.
It's not a bad move. It's hit. Like, obviously, don't take the fucking Hawks. Don't take the Nets. Like, the Nets might steal one, but it's not worth it.
This series.
Oh, yeah.
This series.
Yeah.
In the Knicks and Cavs series, the underdog's been coming in at like plus 210, and they went 1 for 2, so I already am positive on those 2 games, throwing a half unit on both of those. And I'm guessing that we're going to see the Cavs either even or a little bit of an underdog going into New York. So I might be leaning that way. But I think it goes 7. Don't know who comes out of it, but that's an interesting one. Another one, that Bucks and Heat series, just to touch on quick. Do you remember last week when we were talking about sweeps? Hoff, got to be hurting for you because this is your champion pick, the Milwaukee Bucks. But I said if Giannis or Embiid, one of those big guys, goes down, how much that changes the complexity of everything. And the Miami Heat, year in and year out, are that lower seed that find their way to weasel it out or get to a Game 6 or Game 7. And they already stole one in Milwaukee. Now they go down to Miami, tough place to play. And Giannis is out for Game 1 and 2, so we don't know what's underlying for him. You think there's a chance that the Heat can steal the series? I know they got smoked last game, but...
Sorry, I was texting Jesse Mack. You want to go here?
Yeah, what was the question again? Sorry.
I was asking of
steal
if
the
you
series?
thought with without
Obviously,
Giannis.
a lot bigger of a question now that Giannis is out. I don't think we would even be having this conversation if he was playing. But no, I really don't. Just because this team has a lot of star power around it, you're going to see Chris Middleton step up. He's one of those players that will step up and do what he needs to do. This team is just so built around Giannis that they can figure it out against a pretty weak Miami Heat team. They don't really find ways to win games, in my opinion. So I think the Bucks should probably win this series in 5 games. Might win it in 6. They're just an overall better team, even without Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, I like the.
Yeah, I agree. I just think this is going deep. This Heat team, year in and year out, they have guys, battle-proven guys. They've been to an NBA Finals.
The Bucks are my.
Don't sleep on the Miami Heat.
I was gonna say the Bucks are my championship pick, and I do think this series is going 6. I think they're gonna split when they go back to Miami. How long is Giannis out? Is it just Game 3 or is it 3 and 4? Or is it kind of game by game?
Game by
yeah,
game.
It could be the whole series. potentially.
Yeah, see, I think the Bucks handle in 6, but I could see Miami obviously definitely win one on their home floor. That's Heat culture in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler will steal a game if Giannis isn't playing, I think, for sure.
It's crazy after game 2.
Not
I
for
thought I
sure.
expected a
Not for
stronger
sure.
performance
Not
from
for
the
sure.
Heat, but
But like I said, Mackie, you said it could be over in 5. I do agree with that, but I like the Heat to get one at home.
yeah, I agree with you, Huff. Only 2 series in the East worth monitoring, really. I think Sixers and Celtics easily get there.
Yeah, I think they're both sweeps in my opinion. But yeah, let's head out west. Let's see what series you guys want to start with. Phoenix, LA. All right, let's jump into some of these NBA series out west. First off, we have the Sacramento Kings leading the Golden State Warriors 2-0. Next, we have the Phoenix Suns and Clippers evened up at 1 game apiece. The Denver Nuggets up 2-0 on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the last series being the Lakers and Grizzlies, which is evened up at 1 apiece as well. Let's start with this Suns-Clippers series. How far do you think this series is going to go? Obviously, the Clippers jumped out in Game 1. Westbrook with a huge defensive play to seal the game. Suns handle business in Game 2. Mackie, I know you like the Suns with the points tonight. Just curious how you guys think this series is going to go. I think the Suns get the job done in 6. I'm going to go 6. I think the Clippers do get one more, but I think the Suns still win the series.
Kawhi Leonard out for Game 3. If I'm Steve Ballmer, I'm absolutely livid. You give these guys near $500 million combined, they can't get in for a playoff game. Come on, man. I mean, they don't even play in the regular season, so it's not even like you could say they're tired from a long season.
This is what they wait for.
Bully it up and play, bro. Like, get out there. This is a home game against the Phoenix Suns, the West favorites, and it's a 1-1 series. You can win this game and go up 2-1 in the series. That would be massive, and you have neither superstar playing. Paul George I understand a little more because he's been out, but come on, Kawhi, figure it out. You know you can play through this. It's just you're not putting up a fight. This team is going to get slaughtered tonight. They weren't even ready for a game plan without Kawhi. I don't know. I can't. This series is going to be over in 5 games. This team has no heart.
Did you guys watch Game 2 at all?
I did not. No.
I watched a little bit of it. I watched like the first half.
That's why if you watch that first half, the Clippers were having their way, and they were up. I think it was like a 10-0 run or a 12-2 run, something like that, by the Suns to even it up at halftime, and that was the turning point to win that game. If you were watching that whole first half and reading all of these media coverages everywhere, everybody thought that the Clippers were going to go up 2-0, and it was big to come back and win. Kevin Durant really carried the load, but Russell Westbrook, we talked about it at the deadline, great acquisition for that team, gets buckets, plays defense, gives you a great effort night in and night out, and he has that chip on his shoulder, and he's been showing it here, playing great defense on both ends of the floor. Kawhi Leonard sitting out tonight is massive, like Mackie said. I don't understand that as a hockey guy, but that really throws a dent in my plans because I saw this going 7. That's my pick, is to go 7. I do think the Suns come out because Kevin Durant is him, but Kawhi Leonard is the guy that showed us before, hey, we can beat super teams with good defensive basketball and hard work. And that's what he did in Game 1. Almost did it in Game 2, but now he's sitting out, so that makes me rethink it. But I hit on the Clips in Game 1 on that money line. Very fat money line. Love to see that. And I actually was on the Suns the other way last game. So I think this is going to go 7 still. Got to get those stars back in action, but I think the Suns take care of business tonight, and they go up 2-1. And then we need Kawhi back to tie the series up.
Yeah, I'm on the same page you are.
One we can breeze through easy, Hoff. I don't think we need to talk about this team much. Kind of similar to Celtics and the Sixers. I think that the Nuggets are going to sweep that Timberwolves team, eke their way in. Not a very good team in my opinion.
Nuggets and foe.
Nuggets way too much. That was Huff's. Besides the Bucks, that was his championship favorite. I know he's pegged them to win the West all season long. So I've been on the Joker. We've hit on him on various holidays to hit triple doubles and whatnot. This team's gonna sweep them. I think we can breeze right over that. Like the
yeah, I was literally gonna say that right. I was gonna say, well, all right, let's look over this next one real quick. I think we all have the Nuggets to win this series. Same old shit. So I'm the same way. I think they sweep the series. So next one, one that I think we're gonna have a little bit more conversation on. Lakers Grizzlies 1-1. Ja misses Game 2. Grizzlies get the job done. They win it on their home floor. We go back to LA. What do you guys think happens here? I think my original pick was Lakers in 6 on their home floor, so I'm going to stick with that. I think they do win both in LA, take a 3-1 series lead. Memphis wins game 5, and then I think the Lakers close it out in 6. But it's going to be a really tough series. I think now that they get Ja back, one game. I mean, what was his injury? Why did he miss the game? His hand was sore or something? So
Yeah, he was holding the gun too long.
yeah, so maybe he hit trigger finger.
Kickback.
But yeah, I think the Grizzlies are going to put up a fight in games 3 and 4, but I like the Lakers to take a 3-1 series lead here.
Huff, what do you think about bad boy Dylan Brooks calling out the King?
Did you see this LeBron stats with him guarding him this series? I'd have to find the post. While you guys give your takes on this series, I'll try to find it.
Mac, you want to
I
go
wish
first?
I sent it to you guys because, oh my God, it's like he's like 20. I forget his points per game, but he doesn't have a single turnover when he's guarding him. Like, I'll find it. Hold on.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I really this Memphis team makes it so hard to like them, especially with Dylan Brooks saying that about LeBron. You're waking a beast, even if he is older. He's not who he used to be, but you were a fan, bro. Like you were at Oregon cheering this guy on, and now you're just trying to talk smack. I mean, I get what he's trying to do, trying to get into his head, but it's LeBron James. You're not going to get into his head. I think the Lakers do come out of this series. I think it can go the distance. I don't expect it to. I think the Lakers win Game 6 at home, but I do think that they win this series because LeBron James is not going to lose Game 7 to this Memphis Grizzlies team. They have the power. They're. I think that you can consider them the better team. But I like this Lakers team. I could be a little biased. I really like LeBron James, but I think that they get out of this series, especially with Ja not being 100%.
This is just what LeBron's averaging in the series. I can't find the graphic of what he has with Dylan Brooks guarding him. 36.5 minutes per game, 24.5 points, 11.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 1.5 steals, 3 turnovers, shooting 52%, 25% from 3, and 63% from the free throw line. He's old.
Yeah,
He's
Dylan
old.
Brooks was trying to say that. Yeah, he was trying to say his best years were behind him in Miami and Cleveland.
Too bad he has
I
a
think,
ring
like
in
Mac said,
LA.
you're literally awake. You're awakening a giant for no reason. I know that's his MO. He's trying to get under his skin. Wrong person to do it to. He's just going to turn it up a notch. I do think this one. I know I said that the Sixers and the Clippers and the Suns could go 7 with Kawhi sitting. That kind of scares me now, but that was my pre-take. I forgot about that. He was out tonight. Give you a prelude here towards the next series too, because I think the Warriors are great at home. But I think Warriors and Kings go 7, and I think Lakers and Grizzlies go 7. The Grizzlies are the bad boys of the NBA. Everybody hates them. That's why they think they're rivals with everybody, but they're really not. But I think that the Lakers come out in 7. They have the better team. But the real thing to look at, let's talk about Game 1 for a second, is LeBron needs the right people around them to succeed, right? And they revamped that whole team at the deadline, and they got the right people. Rui Hachimura, high draft pick, great ad at the deadline. Austin Reeves coming into his own. D'Angelo Russell is important. Dennis Schroeder, great pickup off the bench in the play-ins, in the play-in games, and in the playoffs. He's been having an impact. So it's not just LeBron and AD. It's the whole team contributing to success against a really good Grizzlies team. But when it comes down to it, I really like the past experience, the history, the clutchness, the pure skill of this Los Angeles Lakers team and everybody behind them, especially with John Morant setting up.
And no Steven Adams.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I'm the same. I think Warriors Kings goes 7, but I'm sticking with my Kings in 7 pick. I think, especially now that they're up 2-0, I think it'd be stupid to jump off of that. But I'm sticking Lakers in 6 and Kings in 7 in the West in those 2 series.
Yeah, the Kings having that home court advantage, how bad the Warriors are on the road. I think the Warriors grab 2 in a row at home right here, go 2-2. And everybody's going to win at home, I think, in this series. Don't you? That's what you're thinking?
No Draymond. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, they'll be all right. Come on.
But I'm still thinking everybody wins at home in the series.
Yeah, if I had to make a prediction for how it's going 7, I definitely would say just the easy everyone wins their home games.
I just don't think.
But at the end of the road, Huff, real quick, Mackie, at the end of the road, the scary thing is, if it goes to 7, you're playing against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in Game 7.
De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. Like, who's going to win Game 7 series? I understand they're the worst road team in the league this year and showing that you're down 0-2. But come on, you're taking Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson who have won 4 rings, 12 combined, or are you taking Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox in their first playoff series ever?
Yeah, but
if
they need to win 2 in Golden State though. They have to right now. You have to go win
If
both
you don't,
games
the
at home.
series is over. You go back to game 5, it's over. You lose in 5.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. That's a fast team too for these Warriors. They're a little bit older and they have guys coming off of injury. Like this Kings team's clicking. Like they're flying, high flying team. Their speed. I think they were number 1 in
I was gonna say
offensive
they're the highest
rating coming into the
scoring team
playoffs
in
for
the
the
league.
year. Yeah, number 1 in offensive rating. So the Warriors have to be on their game, and I think they'll be ready. They've been here before. They know what it takes. Yada yada. They're gonna be at home. I know it's not far for the Kings, but you got to win both at home here, Steph. And if anybody's gonna figure out, it's gonna be the best scorer of all time.
Yeah, I think that's a solid evaluation of what we're looking at for the NHL and NBA playoffs. Kind of all gave our predictions on those series and how we think they're going to go. Like we said, definitely going to be something we look at week in and week out as we get through the NHL and NBA playoffs all the way up to the Stanley Cup Final and NBA Finals. All right, and a couple of big headlines coming in the NFL. Obviously, NFL offseason, so we're obviously going to have kinds of offseason news. One of the bigger things, Cardinals safety Buda Baker has officially informed the team that he's requesting a trade. I know this is one of the best safeties in the league, in my opinion. Definitely a leader on and off the field. Great guy. I think I'd love to have him as a Steeler, but we got Minka. I don't know if he's interested in playing the other side. Actually, is he strong or free safety? I think he is a strong safety, correct? Ace, do you know? So dang, maybe I'd like my Steelers to go after him. I don't know who necessarily is going to be going after him here, but the Cardinals in full rebuild mode. A lot of their stars are going to be looking to get on their way out. We obviously know what's going on with DeAndre Hopkins. He's looking to get moved. Now you have their star on the defensive side of the ball in Buda Baker looking to get moved this offseason. So next, we have Josh Harris, owner of the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers and the NHL's New Jersey Devils, is in agreement with in principle to buy the Washington Commanders for a record $6 billion from Dan Snyder, longtime owner of the team. I know this has been in talks for the past couple of weeks, months, years with the Commanders, Washington football team, Redskins, whatever you want to call them. They've been looking to get this owner out and get a real owner in there. A lot of their Washington fans, I know I have a couple people that are Redskins fans, or know a couple people that are Redskins fans, and they've been calling for this guy's head for years, and finally get him out, new owner, a guy that's, I mean, I don't know what this guy owns, that he owns two sports teams other than that, but I mean, that's the ultimate dream. That's what I took away from this. You own an NBA, an NHL, and now an NFL team. Like, fuck baseball. That's all I need. You imagine? That'd be so...
I mean, the value of this, it's crazy because the value of this deal is just because of the times today.
Yeah, it's
This
not
is
what the
literally-
team's truly worth.
This is just inflation, and
Yeah.
like right in front of our eyes. But
Dude, last summer,
Yeah.
Last summer, the Broncos sold for $4.5 billion, and we all were sitting here like, $4.5 billion? Are you kidding me? Like, $6 billion a year later. It's crazy.
It's
And
setting
then-
the
Yeah,
price for
but
future.
the one thing we have to hope, though, is that the new ownership can change the culture for the Washington football team.
Disagree.
Washington Commanders.
Disagree. Keep those bums at the bottom of the NFC East.
I know what you mean. I'm saying a clean reputation at least in
Clean.
good organization and whatnot. Maybe better facility, better. Remember last year Jalen Hurts almost getting taken out when he was walking
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah.
The fans falling over the railing.
Yeah, fix up that stadium, fix up your organization, clean up the act, and then maybe put a better product on the field, and then we'll believe in that $6 billion
though.
buy.
What do you think the Cowboys would sell for right now?
10.
15?
No, 15 or 20.
Like I was
top
gonna say,
five.
it's
They're
not
like
even a
five.
question. Double digits.
They're one of the top. They're one of the top
I think they're
franchises
one,
in the world,
actually.
right?
They're literally the most expensive right now.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
Yankees,
all three of our
Yankees.
teams, Steelers, Cowboys, and Patriots would all sell for over $10 billion.
Patriots are top 5 as well too. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. With the Super
Steelers
Bowl,
are just a
100%.
worldwide brand. It's like the name
and
is.
you guys have the success too. It's just the
Yeah,
Patriots with
yeah.
like Tom Brady and
yeah,
recent
the recent success of the Patriots is the reason they're worth
recent,
so
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the area too.
But when this happened, I saw so supposedly the Seattle Seahawks are projected to be the next team that gets sold. I don't know I know their owner passed away and it got handed down or what happened, but people think Seattle is going to get sold within the next maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They're just saying it's the next team to be sold. And obviously, depending on like inflation, whatever happens with the money and the whole economy out there, but they're saying that's easily could be the first $10 billion sports team.
I was gonna
The
say
Seattle Seahawks.
if the Commanders are 6 billion, what do you put Seattle at?
Especially Seattle though. It's an area, a good economy. They just got their hockey team back, and that team has had some recent success and pretty big nationwide. I know
I'd-
kind
And they're
of an
supposed and they're
expansion type
I'd
team,
say
but-
they're
they'd
supposedly
probably
getting
be-
the Supersonics back sooner or later.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they need Kevin Durant's big on that.
Mariners picking up
I'd say
too.
that they just kissed 10 billion probably. I don't think they'd be much over that.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see as the years go on.
But yeah, like I said, that wouldn't be I forget who it was, whether it was Schefter or Rappaport or whoever said it. They said it wouldn't be for maybe 2, 3, 4 years. So if they're going for $6 billion now, and like I said last summer, the Broncos sold for $4.5 billion. If it's $1 billion and at $1.5 billion every summer, I mean that's a $10 billion football team in 3 summers. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but not much else in the NFL going on. The Steelers got Allen Robinson. I don't really care to talk about that too much. I don't think that's too big of news.
Is
Talk
he any
about it if
good?
he's
I
good.
mean, yeah, he's gonna be he's gonna be our third receiver behind Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. I think it's definitely not a bad move when you're only giving up a 7th round pick for a guy that was a really good receiver in Chicago, just couldn't find his footing in LA, dealt with some injuries and looking to kind of bounce back in his career with the Steelers. But I don't hate it, but he's not going to see many balls.
Would you rather spend that money elsewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the offensive line. Why? My thing is,
Yeah.
we are so good at drafting receivers. We don't need to bring in these washed receivers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, what are you
So,
trying to do?
that's what I'm
Like
thinking.
revive his career? He hasn't been anything
I
since
think-
Jacksonville.
no, I think we're true. I seriously think the Steelers are looking to trade Deontay Johnson. So it's gonna slide Pickens the one,
You think?
and then
That's a
yeah,
bad
I think-
move, I think.
There was already rumors of that. There was
I
already
don't like-
rumors
I,
of
I
that.
like Deontay Johnson. I think he has top 10 potential.
He was always on the way out. He's got a big deal too, doesn't
he
he?
just signed for 3 years, $20 million. Yeah.
So you are,
Yeah, they've been wanting to move him since before they got Pickens. They wanted to move him and not Claypool originally. I
Yeah.
thought.
you're
Because-
I
well,
think
it was
you're
just
way
'cause
better
Claypool
off
was
with
on a
Johnson
lower
than
money deal.
Claypool. Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you.
No, you're good. I definitely I think I'd like to stick with what we have. The same reason that I liked AB and Juju was Juju's a number 2 receiver and AB was a top 2 receiver in the league, if not one, whenever he was in his prime. And like that's what made Juju so good. It's like if Deontay can, I'm not saying Deontay Johnson's AB, but I'm saying that's why Pickens had such a good year last year was because you have to respect the $20 million receiver.
Take the coverage.
Yeah, you have to handle that. Like you can't just, oh yeah, this hot rookie from Georgia, let's put 2 guys on him, and then it's like, okay, you're leaving Deontay Johnson, one of the fastest wide receivers in the NFL, wide open. But like I said, with Freiermuth and Najee Harris, I just don't see too many looks for Allen Robinson, despite maybe an injury or 2 in the receiving core.
Play a
Definitely.
third down position, maybe. Few
That's what I
yards.
said. I said even like 3rd and 7, you bring him in, put him in the slot. Like that's not a bad option, but I'd rather just do a slant to Deontay, or you know what I mean, like Freiermuth across the middle. Like that's the thing is when you have a good tight end, like our teams have always had good tight ends. Like Cowboys got Schultz, like Ace, you've had Gronk. Like when you have a good tight end, it's so
We
different.
just
like,
lost Schultz.
I know, but I'm saying I think this is the year that Freiermuth. I've talked him up for the past couple of years, but I think this is the year he's going to really make a statement with Pickett and be known as one of the better tight ends in the NFL. I think that's just why I don't think Robinson gets too many looks. But like I said, I don't think it's going to hurt. But like you said, that's a lot of money for him. But we'll see what ends up happening. I don't think the Steelers are done making their moves this offseason. But that's going to do it for us in the NFL. Couple things to mention real quick in the MLB. Fernando Tatis makes his return tonight versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have been hot. Padres little iffy across the board to start the season. I know they're under 500. I think they're 7-11 or 8-11. Ace, I know you have Tatis to hit the home run tonight. I think it was plus 280. So definitely best of luck there. That's definitely a fun bet. I've never hit a home run prop. I'm just suck at baseball props unless it's like an over-under on strikeouts. But like the home run to do all the total bases, I can never do that stuff. So, but 280, I feel like that's pretty low for a home run, right?
Yeah, definitely. But he's had what 5 home runs in his rehab
Yeah.
stint already.
He's playing against kids I played in high school.
It's no, I know it's Fernando Tatis Jr. though. I didn't believe me. I'm not putting the house on this, not putting the farm or anything like that. Just very half unit, quarter unit. Just not a bad play. In his return, very electric player. Excited to see him with this offense. You get him, Bogarts, Machado, Soto, Cronenworth, the rest of that lineup, Roland Cruz, Carpenter, Nola, Grisham. I mean, that's a powerhouse lineup. So I'm excited to watch.
Get beat by the D-backs.
By the way, the Leafs are up 3-0 now, if anyone knows. Didn't know that.
Right before puck drop, I was like, I'm gonna take a -1.5. And then I was like, what am I doing? I'm so dumb. I'm not betting on this team.
Yeah, I literally thought the same.
Yeah,
I thought
I
the
just
same
stayed
thing.
away. You
I
stayed away, right?
I was like, fuck that. I'm not losing more money on this team. Whatever.
But I think that's gonna do it for us this week. If any you guys got anything else?
No. Let's
No.
go Rangers.
Go Bruins need to win. Feed us the Rangers Bruins
I'm
ECF.
praying
I
for
mean,
it.
lot of
podcast.
Mackie, how
live off that?
but like how much do you have to live and die through so many shifts before you even can think of that?
I mean, I'm not even looking forward to that. I mean, I'm not like looking way ahead to that right now. We just got to win game 2 right now.
Huff said it the other day. Ace is locked in on his phone. Yeah, playoff hockey. My favorite time of the year. You guys said March Madness. This is mine. You got NHL hockey in full swing. NBA playoffs. MLB's hot off the press. There's playoff games on every night. Weekend days, Saturday, you got a full slate. One hockey game at a time. One basketball game at a time. I love this time of year. Feed me. I'm ready to go. Go Bruins. Go Seas. Let's fucking go, boys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got anything else. That's going to do it for us this week. Thanks for listening. Make sure you leave a like, follow wherever you're listening, leave a review, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Definitely goes a long way for us. That's going to do it for us this week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
And that's going to do it for us on this episode of Hit the Books. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each and every week. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here. So please like, share, and subscribe wherever you can. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for our plays each and every night in the NHL, NFL, MLB, NBA, college basketball, and college football. Thank you again, and see you next week.